Hello, welcome to Spartanburg Now. We're here at Hatcher Garden on John B. White, and today we're going to talk about Arbor Day. Today I have with me a number of people, but I'm first going to start off with Joe Mullinex, the Executive Director. Joe, could you talk a little bit about Arbor Day for us and give us a little bit of history?
Sure. National tradition. Started in Nebraska. J. Sterling Morton was an immigrant, moved to Nebraska, and there weren't a whole lot of trees in Nebraska at that time, and he immediately started planting trees and shrubs and ornamental plants around his homestead. And he, through his influence in the newspaper, wanted to promote that because Nebraska needed trees for a lot of things, as you can imagine. Trees are very important to us for wood and for tools and for shelter and windbreaks, especially in Nebraska. So he started promoting this idea of a national holiday to plant trees. In 1872 is when he promoted this idea of a National Arbor Day. And that first year, he got the schools involved, and they planted 1 million trees in Nebraska that year.
Wow, that's a significant amount of trees. Tell us a bit more about maybe were there any type of when did they first pass this in terms of the state legislation?
Well, it started in Nebraska, and then it started spreading through other states. And 10 years later, by 1882, they had all the schools in the country involved. And so this is a very old holiday for us. And you may have heard of the Morton Arboretum, one of the most world famous arboretums, and named after the founder of Arbor Day. And so this is a very long tradition for us as the United States. And here in South Carolina, our National Arbor Day is in April, but in South Carolina, it's a different date.
Okay, well, great. I'll let you go ahead and talk with Chris a little bit more about why we celebrate Arbor Day here in South Carolina on the first Friday of December.
Yeah, Chris with Chris Thompson, Land Art Design Group. Chris, why would we want to plant trees in December and not in April here in South Carolina?
Well, Joe, although April is a good time to plant trees, in South Carolina, December marks the beginning of our planting season. So we celebrate Arbor Day sort of as just a mark or to start with the planting.
Chris, we're standing in one of the great arboretums here in Spartanburg, Hatcher Garden. There's 5 arboretum here in Spartanburg that people can go and learn more about trees. They can see mature specimens. They can get an idea of what they can do in their own yard. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about of course, arboretums are places that collect and display trees and woody shrubs for educational and ornamental purposes. There's Hatcher Garden, and who else is in town?
Well, we've got 4 others. As you mentioned, we have a total of 5. We do have Hatcher Garden right here right in the city of Spartanburg. We also have the Roger Milliken Arboretum at Wofford College. We also have Milliken Arboretum at his research campus, and we have one at Spartanburg Community College. And we also have one at USC Upstate, which B is very involved with.
Arboretums are great places not only to go to relax and have a picnic, but also learn more about trees and things that people can do on their own in their own yard. Let's talk a little bit about tree planting. We plant trees here at Arbor Day, and that's in December here in Spartanburg because it's a lot easier on the trees.
It's definitely easier on the tree. In December, we've already gotten into sort of a cold snap. As the winter starts to come, trees go into a dormant state, and it makes it to where the tree's not fighting. The tree's able to establish a good ground for in the spring, it can put out new foliage.
Yeah. I always think about trees during the growing season. They're always putting all their energy up top above ground, and in the winter they're putting all their energy underground. So if we get them in the ground right before winter comes in, they have a good chance to stabilize and a better success rate for the spring.
Definitely a better success rate, and it's not just for us, it's for our children.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. We'll talk about Bea a little bit and what she's got happening at her arboretum.
All right, well, the Susan Jacobs Arboretum, every year we celebrate Arbor Day, and we've already established it's the first Friday in December. This will be our 5th year celebrating Arbor Day, and this year we have Mr. Don Shadow.
I'm looking forward to that.
We're looking forward to Mr. Shadow coming as well. He is a nurseryman from Winchester, Tennessee, and also takes care of a variety of animals as well, and he is a speaker across our country and also internationally. Mr. Shadow has written a book called Dogwoods that will be available as well on our campus. But we're really proud of the speakers that we've brought here to Spartanburg County and to our Arboretum. It is our goal at the university to have as many community people as we can to come on our campus and see the growth and development of USC Upstate, but also to see that captured beauty of the Susan Jacobs Arboretum. It's a 12-acre space nestled right in the heart of our campus with a beautiful creek running through it. And thanks to Land Art Design and Chris, gave us a great floor plan for all of the different gardens within the Arboretum. There are 12, and each garden has its own has its own collection of trees, shrubs, and conifers. So that really gives us a great footprint to work from. So we really appreciate Land Art Design. But within our Arbor Day celebration, this is a great time of year for us to be able to partner with a lot of groups in the community. We're really excited about partnering with the City of Spartanburg this year, as well as Hatcher Garden, of course Land Art Design, the Men's Garden Club, J.M. Smith, and also the Spartanburg Garden Council. Those are great organizations to work with. Spartanburg is a green area, and we are proud of being green. And Arbor Day, every year, we have our presentation start at 11 o'clock, followed by lunch in our ballroom at 12, and we sell tickets for $8. So that's a pretty good deal, lunch and a great speaker.
Every time I've been, it's been great. And you got some great sponsors this year too. You got a whole good gamut of the green industry represented.
We really do, and we're proud of what's happening this year. Because of our partnership with the City of Spartanburg, Mayor Barnett will be on our campus that morning of Arbor Day to read a proclamation of Arbor Day. Also, the Spartanburg Garden Council group, which is a energetic group of ladies, they will be we'll be dedicating one of the gardens to them this year. We'll also have a great memorial dedication in memory of Winston Hardegree, and that will be held at 10:30. And we've got a lot of great speakers coming to be with us on that particular day. But this is Arbor Day has turned out to be a great event for the university. We had over 300 people last year, and we expect well over 300 this year.
And we'll be indoors most of the time.
That's right. We finally got smart. I always thought, coordinating this event that you had to be outside for Arbor Day, and finally somebody said two or 3 years ago, you don't have to be outside for Arbor Day. So now we've moved inside. We're in the Humanities Performing Arts Center, which is our theater, at 11, and then we move over to the ballroom for lunch.
Well, thank you guys both for talking about Arbor Day and why it's important here in Spartanburg and why we celebrate it differently here in the state of South Carolina than other states. I'd like to go ahead and wrap up Spartanburg Now just to remind everyone that we're standing right here in the beautiful Hatcher Garden, which is one of 5
Arboreta in Spartanburg.
Yes, and if we can just go kind of slowly of the other 4, just in case people out there like to go visit the other 4 locations.
Susan Jacobs Arboretum at USC Upstate.
The Roger Milliken Arboretum at Wofford College, and the Milliken Arboretum at Milliken Research Campus, just to the east and north of town on 585.
And the last one being Spartanburg Community College's campus is a teaching arboretum. They have a very strong horticulture program there. We have a tour of all the arboretums coming up in October of '09, Arboretaville.
Great.
Arboretaville.com if you can spell that.
Okay, well, great. Well, thank you, and hopefully we'll see you again next time.